For millennia, humanity has sought an economic model that could foster growth, development, and a fair distribution of wealth and resources. While many systems have emerged throughout history, the dominant global paradigm today is capitalism, characterized by free markets and private ownership. Following the Cold War and the collapse of the Soviet Union, capitalism appeared to have secured its place as the uncontested global order. Yet, if current trends persist, this system may not lead us to prosperity, but rather to the edge of societal and ecological ruin. Capitalism in the 21st century, a system on the brink of collapse. At its core, global capitalism is profoundly unjust, excessive, and politically corrosive. It concentrates wealth and power in the hands of a small elite, while the majority lose their agency and democratic influence. Political systems increasingly cater to corporate interests, as governments align their policies with the demands of major donors and financial backers, those who effectively place them in power. In democratic nations, electoral success is often impossible without costly campaigns, and those who fund these campaigns wield disproportionate influence over elected officials. The freedoms of ordinary citizens frequently clash with the ambitions of governments and corporations. Capitalism also wreaks havoc on the natural world. Today, plant and animal species are disappearing at a rate 1,000 times faster than the historical average over the past 65 million years. Since the year 2000, approximately 8 million hectares of forest have been cleared annually. Driven by inertia, modern capitalism continues to degrade ecosystems through deforestation, unsustainable agriculture, chaotic infrastructure expansion, and the destruction of natural habitats, all while accelerating climate change. Societies remain dependent on fossil fuels, and investments in renewable energy lag far behind what is needed. Shape. Capitalism stands as the principal driver of climate change. In 2014 alone, 2 environmental activists were killed every week worldwide, a doubling of the previous rate. This surge in violence reflects a growing global consensus on the urgency of the climate crisis and the willingness of individuals to risk their lives for ecological justice. According to the Global Humanitarian Forum, climate change already causes over 300,000 deaths annually, affects more than 300 million people, and is the leading cause of humanitarian emergencies. Entire nations, such as Bangladesh, face mass displacement due to rising sea levels and extreme weather. Hundreds of thousands have already been forced to abandon their homes. The evidence is overwhelming. Superstorms battering the densely populated U.S. East Coast, catastrophic floods across Texas, and severe droughts in Iran all point to the escalating consequences of a warming planet. Shape. Capitalism impoverishes people in paradoxical ways. It has created a world where food is overproduced, yet tens of thousands die of hunger every day. In 2024, 3.5 billion people lived in poverty or near poverty, according to the World Bank. Even in the United States, 15% of the population and 20% of children under 18 live below the poverty line. Germany, the economic powerhouse of the European Union, reported 13 million citizens living in poverty last year. In 1965, only 1 in 75 German children relied on social welfare. By 2007, that number had risen to 1 in 6. The vast majority of the world's poor reside in 2 regions, Southeast Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa. 1 in 4 children under 5 suffers from stunted growth due to malnutrition. Meanwhile, global population growth continues unchecked. By 2050, the world is projected to host 10 billion people, up from 8.2 billion today. At current rates, feeding such a population will be impossible. Shape. Capitalism erodes the middle class and deepens social inequality. The interests of business owners and corporations no longer align with those of society. 60 years ago, American companies often shared a common purpose with the communities they served. Today, the landscape has changed dramatically. The top 500 corporations reward executives with multi-million-dollar bonuses for outsourcing production to low-wage countries, maximizing profits while dismantling the very middle class that once sustained American society. Decades ago, corporate leaders recognized that their success was intertwined with the well-being of their employees. In 1953, the CEO of General Motors, preparing to become Secretary of Defense, told Congress, "I have always believed that what is good for our country is good for General Motors and vice versa." This philosophy underpinned a robust and resilient middle class. Today, only the interests of large corporations and capital holders prevail. In 1980, the CEOs of Britain's top 100 companies earned 25 times more than their employees. Today, that figure has ballooned to 150 times. In Australia, the average CEO earns 100 times more than the average worker.